All right, guys, they're hanging around. They're hanging around. I got to come out here and give them some credit for it. They are hanging around. Washington Huskies host the Stanford Cardinal, a game that you would expect them to win, but you also know that you can definitely lose it. You know Stanford's a decent team. Stanford has already beaten Oregon this year, so you know it's not going to be easy, and it's not easy, but the boys got the job done. 27-23, and it really was a tale of two halves. I mean, Washington completely dominated the first half, especially that first quarter, and this second half, excuse me, still getting over a little something. But the second half, things went Stanford's way, but we never relinquished our lead, and we just kind of held on to it until time ran out. So we're 7-3 now. We got a game next week against Oregon State, who we should be able to handle no matter what. I don't care how bad this season has been or how disappointed I am. We should be handling Oregon State, and I don't know exactly what we need to happen, if anything, but the Pac-12 remains open for us. We can win the Pac-12 North and then play for that championship against whoever the South sends. I guess it would be Oregon. I don't know how it would work exactly, but I can't say it's over. I mean, Wazoo's playing right now. I'm going to go watch that game after I'm done here. But Wazoo's playing Cal right now. They don't look that great, so it's out there. Things might happen. We can work our way into this title game and win the Pac-12, which I'm not going to say that it's meaningless. I do understand this is a three-loss team. It's not a stellar team, but of course I'll get excited for a Pac-12 championship. So, hey, they kept it alive. And after last week, where the team just looked pathetic on offense, we needed this because today we saw how big a deal Gaskin was. Gaskin is back, and he played a lot, and he played great, 150 yards on the ground, got in the end zone for the first time in a while. It was just good to see him, and you really got an idea for how important he is for this offense because it was just not the same without him. And while I like Ahmed, I like Pleasant, I like those guys, I know they're good players, Gaskin just paces the offense in a way that those guys cannot. And we came out in the first 20 minutes of this game absolutely beating ass. It was great. Everything that we could have wanted in those first 20 to 25 minutes happened. We did not slow down until late in that second quarter when we actually punted a few times and we gave up a little bit on defense, but even then we were able to, keep Stanford off the board, so it's not like we were doing anything bad. Browning was effective. Browning was quietly efficient. He made a few throws on third down to keep drives alive. He made a throw on a fourth down on the opening drive, I think, or maybe the second drive. That was great. Ty Jones made another great catch on one of those fades where he just goes up and gets it, which I like to see that stuff. That stuff excites me for next year when Ty Jones might be a big time player. Aaron Fuller, very good. Baselia made, I think, a couple of good plays in this game. I think Baselia might have had the fourth down conversion early that really paced the team. Just really good stuff by the offense early in this game. And the second half, I don't know. The game wasn't over. I'm not going to act like it was garbage time. I did notice that the offensive line didn't play nearly as good in the second half. Offensive line struggled. Browning didn't make as good decisions. He took some sacks. He just couldn't find anybody on several plays. It definitely wasn't the same, but we never, excuse me, jeez. I've had one of those colds where it never feels like it gets that bad, but it just hangs around forever. It fucking sucks. But I still would say, we didn't turn the ball over. We didn't have any big time disastrous plays. We just kept punting, and we kicked a couple field goals. And hey, after what I've seen so far this year, making those field goals kind of a big deal. So shout out to Peyton Henry for getting us that. And it was just a pretty good game by the offense. I'm not going to go crazy about it after that second half where really we left some points on the board and we left some plays on the board, but Good game. Good game. Defense, it's what I expect at this point. I mean, we got up so early in this game. Of course, we're going to give up a ton of passing yards because Stanford's going to start passing the ball. So 350 passing yards later to KJ Costello, I'm like, okay, it's not my favorite thing to watch, but I get it. We were up 21-0 at halftime. Of course, Stanford's going to start punching it down the field at some point. We stopped the run well. Bryce Love had one good run against us, and then the rest of the game, basically nothing. Um, Stanford did lose one of their best wide receivers for most of this game, so that obviously has to be taken into account. Whiteside, I think, but we did not. Stanford basically did nothing on offense until we were ahead by 3 touchdowns. And while I don't love everything I saw in that second half, I mean, there's still a bit of a lack of pass rush on some of these plays. The tackling once or twice was, not very good. But the coverage downfield is phenomenal. I can't say anything bad about the way the secondary is playing. It's that secondary that gives me some belief that we can beat a team like Wazoo if we end up needing to beat them to get to the Pac-12 title game. And, I mean, it was just a good game. And when I say that, I get it. I'm not saying this is a great team. I don't think this Washington State team is great at this point. I know they've lost 3 very close games that could have gone either way. I get that. But I've seen enough from them to where I can say they're not, one of the best teams in the country. That's obvious. But they're good. And tonight, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me tonight? Whatever. I'm doing this video in one take. I don't care. Tonight they just played good. Special teams too. We had a shanked punt in the third quarter, but then when we needed it the most, we had a good punt with 2 minutes left that helped push Stanford back and made sure that they had to drive the length of the field to win the game with a touchdown. And that ended up being a big deal because they did get down to our 30-yard line. So all the little stuff matters too. And yeah, good game. There's still going to be some stuff about this team that frustrates me to no end. If you're a Husky fan, you know what those things are too. But I'm just happy to get out of there with the win. All right. I am going to get out of here. I'm going to watch the second half of the Wazoo game, and I'm going to make a Seahawk video later tonight. Maybe I'll jump on Zodiac Age on Twitch, but I'm not sure. I'll see you guys.